How's it going, everybody? My name is George Anderson with REI Branded Home Buyer. That's www.reibrandedhomebuyer.com if you want to go and check us out. Today we're talking about why asphalt companies shut down during the winter. And we had this happen during one of our developments. The asphalt company shut down at a time that we needed to have asphalt taken out. What we did was we cut out a portion of the street and we started putting in the sewer water and pulling the electric across the street and stuff like that. But when we did all that, we had to put what is called a cold patch down because during the winter, the asphalt actually cools too fast and it becomes junk. And then a company like myself would eat the cost. So when asphalt comes out of the assembly line, basically, it's about 270 to 300 or 275 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And when it starts cooling too fast, you're going to start having some problems like cracks, soft spots, maybe some premature failure, and then you're going to get wasted material. So we don't want to have that happen when we do all this stuff. So first of all, a little bit about myself. My name is George Anderson from REI Branded Home Buyer. We purchase houses and we buy houses all over Washington and also mainly in Spokane. So that's where we're at right now. We're in Spokane and we buy land also that can be developed into houses. And we do the subdivision process. It takes about anywhere from a year to 2 years. So depending on how fast you can move and how good your contractors are. But today, we're going to be talking about asphalt and what's happened in recent experiences. So when the temperature starts dropping, the asphalt company is going to shut down. They're going to start doing all the maintenance on their shops and stuff like that, recalibrating machinery and cleaning out stuff and getting more aggregate, more supply for the next year. And this is actually a pretty good thing, but you need to really schedule your development around this time of the year, because if you get to the point where you have compacted all your dirt and you're ready for all the streets to go in, say your curbing's all done and stuff like that, you are like, okay, let's get the asphalt in here and get the streets in. If it's too cold out and it's muddy or something like that, or it's raining, you're not going to be able to pour this asphalt down. You're not going to be able to get good compaction, and you're going to start seeing issues, or you might see major delays. So you really want to plan this out correctly. And we were very fortunate to get our streets done. However, when we started pulling all the water supply and the sewer and stuff like that onto the property, we actually had to do what was called a cold pack. And that was just like it was just a cold patch. And it only sits there for the winter. It's just a bunch of really dense rocks and gravel and stuff like that. And it gets up into the plows and it does do some damage on the streets. So you try not to do that when you're putting in a new patch. When you start cutting into the streets, you want to make sure that you pull all the water, sewer, electric, gas, communications lines, whatever it is, onto your property as fast as possible. And you want to make sure that you do it during a time when the asphalt company's open, because doing all this dirt work and whatnot during the winter is just not ideal. So we had to do a cold patch, and we had to wait until the spring of next year. And then during the spring, you're going to have all this rain and stuff like that too. So it's going to become a major issue for if you're doing developments here in Spokane or anywhere across Washington for that matter. I know on the west side, I used to live there, over in Tacoma and Seattle, it does rain a lot. So, when you do have your dry times, you need to get out there and get it done. Just get it done. Again, if you're doing your development or say you want to develop your property and you don't know how to get around all this stuff and navigate these timelines, I can come out and take a look at your property and I can give you a good timeline what can happen. So if you want to sell your land in Spokane or anywhere in Washington for that matter, just give us a call at 509-769-3439 and we'll talk you through the process. And if you want to sell your land to us here in Washington, you know what? That's great. We can do that. We can purchase your land cash at any given time. And we help individuals like yourself if you're looking to learn how to develop your raw land into a development or something like that. That's what we're here for. We're here to help people know the steps. And I'm going to be doing a series on development here pretty soon on what to expect during each process, and also each step in the process. So I'll do an introduction of what needs to happen in the beginning, get your pre-app in there, your preliminary drafts in there and stuff like that, go to your pre-development phase, then you get your permits, then you start moving dirt, make sure you have your CECL, and I can go into all of those steps one by one on the next video. But what I'm talking today is, if you're in the asphalt situation right now and you're like, oh my gosh, the temperature's dropping, the asphalt company just shut down, my whole entire property is just going to get rained on and snowed on for this season. You're also going to see issues with environmental rain runoff on the other people's properties, and you're going to have problems with maybe like rain water going to the waters of the state from your property. And if that happens too, it's going to be a big issue. I've heard of some people getting fined up to $700,000. And what happened during this time was they weren't even on the hillside. There was actually an underground stream that carried all of that debris down underneath another property, went right into the river. And that caused huge damages as far as the state is concerned. And the state fined the developer, and that developer went out of business and had to declare bankruptcy. These things do happen. You have to do geological surveys, and you need to make sure that whatever is going on your property doesn't affect other properties around you, especially when you're putting down asphalt. Asphalt is a major step in the development process, and when you start plowing your dirt and whatnot, and you got dust flying everywhere, you want to cover as much dirt as possible before the state gets involved, because once the state gets involved, they're not a very happy people to deal with. Again, when you have a lot of rain, a lot of sleet, a lot of freeze and thaw cycles, and then you have early sunsets also, asphalt companies really can't reschedule reliable jobs during this time. That's the reason why they shut down during the season. And especially when you were trying to do like a driveway repair, or you're trying to do pothole fixes or patchwork, or you're even trying to do the whole street. Temporary fixes like cold patch will help you out, but you want to get this process done as fast as possible. Again, if you don't know this and you're starting to bulldoze your area and clear top vegetation, and you're like, yes, let's get this started in the middle of summer, and you're like, fall's coming up pretty soon. That's when you really got to be on your contractors to make sure that things get done on schedule. Because if that sits there open the entire winter, there's going to be some issues that arise during that freeze and thaw cycle. And especially here in Spokane, you're going to have a lot of ice getting in areas, and you're going to have to recompact the ground and stuff like that. So, again, if you want to reach out to us, www.reibrandedhomebuyer.com. Go and check us out. I will be putting some more information out on developments here pretty soon too. Again, give us a call at 509-769-3439. Love to help you all out. We buy land in Spokane and all over Washington, especially in the city areas where the zoning is just proper. And I know that a lot of you are probably getting bombarded by phone calls. Maybe people are knocking on your door. Maybe you're getting a lot of letters in the mail. If you get a hold of us, all that will stop, because what's going on is the city has only allowed the urban growth boundary to be so far out of the city. So that what they did is they had the city map, and then they drew a circle around the city, and they said, okay, we're gonna grow in this area. That's the urban growth area, and we're not gonna look at the zoning and fix the zoning until every few years. I forgot what it was, like 4 to 7 years or something like that. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's quite a while. So if you're right outside that urban growth center, I think the zoning in Spokane Valley is coming up here. The meeting again is coming up here pretty soon. Right now, I'm doing this video in November of 2025. So the zoning is going to reconvene another here pretty soon, and they're going to talk about widening that urban growth center so that new owners can get bombarded by phone calls and letters and stuff like that. Again, if you're looking to develop your land and you need help and you need some guidance, please give us a call. Go to our website, check us out. We know the ins and outs of this stuff, and I really enjoy it. I know I was put here on this planet to do development, and I really do care about our clients. Again, my name is George Anderson with REI Branded Home Buyer. This video was just about Asphalt and how the Asphalt company shut down, and it's pretty boring stuff sometimes to a lot of people that don't want to deal with this. So if you don't want to deal with it, give us a call. We'll buy your land pretty quickly. So that's what we do. And here at REI, we say, our saying is no more worry, no more why, just peace of mind with REI. I know that's a gimmick, but we like to help people out, and we help people out in foreclosure and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of people out there that are really worried right now. They're stressed out. They're going through foreclosure. And I've been in a lot of living rooms having conversations with homeowners that are in foreclosure. So that's the reason why we said no more worry, no more why, just peace of mind with REI. We really do help people out. Hey, this video is getting long. I know I have a lot of information to put out. Again, Asphalt company shut down probably around right now, and it should be snowing here in about a week. So look forward to that and breaking out the snowblower and having some fun. Again, I'll talk to you all later in the next video. Bye-bye.